So let us see our module 3, Fourier integrals and Fourier transforms. You have already studied Fourier series in your semester 2. Okay, there you have noticed that the Fourier series always deals with periodic functions or functions that involved in a finite interval. Okay, but as you know that engineering problems are not only include periodic functions but also non-periodic functions. So our extension of this Fourier series to such functions lead us to Fourier integrals. Now, as you know that the chapter deals with Fourier integrals and Fourier transforms, I have explained Fourier integrals or how we arrived at Fourier integrals in slide 2. Now let us see what does Fourier transform does. So you may be familiar of different type of transforms like Laplace transform and all. So now let us see what is Fourier transform. The Fourier transform breaks a waveform which is a function or a signal into an alternate representation that is characterized by sine and cosine functions. In other words, the Fourier transform decomposes any function into a sum of sinusoidal basis function, and each of these basis function is a complex exponential of a different frequency. In short, the Fourier transform decomposes a complicated signal into different simple waveforms. Okay, we have seen that the Fourier transform decomposes complicated waveforms into simpler waveforms, okay, of different frequency. Or you can also define that the Fourier transform represents a time varying function into a frequency domain function. Okay, that means a Fourier transform can convert a function which is in time domain to a function in frequency domain. So in this slide you can see a graph here. This graph represents a complicated waveform in time domain, and the second graph represents this different frequencies of this complicated wave differently plotted. Okay, so this is what Fourier transform does. It identifies a complicated waveform and then decomposes it into simple waveforms and identifies its frequency and plot in a frequency amplitude graph. I have added two YouTube links here. This will show you more examples of more examples and applications of Fourier transform. So as trainee engineers, you have to just know what does Fourier transform does. Okay, so as this is a mathematics course, there is not much to learn about the practical and theory side of this Fourier transform. We only have some formulas to be learned. So as trainee engineers, you have to just know what are its applications. Okay. Now I think you are familiar with the Fourier transform application. From the YouTube links and all, it is clear that you can find its application in for image processing, radio astronomy, signal processing, communication, forecasting, etc. For example, if you take a photo or if you record audio or video, this Fourier transform, what Fourier transform does is it will compress these items into files such as JPEG, MP3, MP4, etc. So in image processing also, if a photo is blurred, the tools of Fourier transform like DFT and FFT, that is discrete Fourier transform, and fast Fourier transform can make the image more clear and brighter. So please go through the online and find more interesting facts about Fourier transform. Now, the Fourier integral representation of a function f of x is given by f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity a of omega cos omega x plus b of omega sin omega x the whole into d omega, where a of omega is equal to 1 by pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of v cos omega v dv, and b of omega is equal to 1 by pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of v sin omega v dv. Okay, so just like how you learned Fourier series, there you will write a formula for Fourier series which include a naught, a n, b n, and then you will say what a naught, a n, b n are. Similarly, we are doing here. So just remember that the Fourier integral representation of any function f of x is given by the equation number 1. And I have added a note here, that is, if there is any discontinuous value for the function given, then you can find it by the formula 1 by 2 into f of x plus f of x minus. This also you have already done in Fourier series. Okay, now we will go to Fourier cosine integral representation and Fourier sine integral representation. I have added a note in slide 13 that even function into even function gives an even function, odd function into odd function gives an odd function, even into odd gives odd function, odd into even gives odd function. So from this property we can arrive Fourier cosine integral and Fourier sine integral, that if f, which is the given function, has a Fourier integral representation, and if f is even, the given function is even, then b of omega will be 0. Why? Because in b of omega we have 1 by pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of v sin omega v. So the sine is an odd function. So if the given function f of v is even, then even into odd is odd. So it will be 0. This property you have already learned in your 12th standard. Please refer that. So when b of omega becomes 0, the first part or the first equation becomes f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity a of omega cos omega x d omega. And what about a omega? Yeah, this cos function is an even function. So integral minus a to a f of x dx. If f of x is even, you can write that as 2 into integral 0 to a f of x dx. Okay, so f of x is even, cos is even. So even into even is even. So you will get a of omega is equal to 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of v cos omega v dv. Next is Fourier sine integral representation. Now if the function is has a Fourier integral representation, and if it is odd, then our first part, that is a of omega in 1a, becomes 0. How does that become 0? Because the given function is odd. Cos is an even function. So odd into even and the integral minus a to a of the form. Okay. Here we are having integral minus infinity to infinity. Okay. So odd into even gives odd function. So that will be 0. And we have b of omega. So in b of omega, sine is an odd function and the given function is also odd. So odd function into odd function is always an even function. So therefore we can write b of omega as 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of v sin omega v dv. Okay, and then the first part becomes integral 0 to infinity b of omega sin omega x d omega. Okay, now let us come to our first problem. Example 1. Find the Fourier integral representation of the function f of x is equal to 1 if modulus x less than 1 and 0 if modulus x greater than 1. So as you know that the given limit is modulus x less than 1. That means x varies from -1 to 1. Okay, now we have a Fourier integral representation formula. F of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity a of omega cos omega x plus b of omega sin omega x d omega, where a of omega is equal to 1 by pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of v cos omega v dv, and b of omega is equal to 1 by pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of v sin omega v dv. Now here what we are going to do is the function given will be in x or in any other function. So whatever it is, we need to convert that function into v, because our a of omega and b of omega is given in the terms of v. So the given function x should be equal to v. So consider x is equal to v, that is f of x is equal to v and dx is equal to v. So whatever the limit of x, then it will be the same limit for v also. So here if x takes from -1 to 1, then v takes from -1 to 1. Okay, now so our given function is 1. So a of omega is equal to 1 by pi integral -1 to 1. So 1 into cos omega v dv. So here I have written the property which we just said when we explained the Fourier cosine and Fourier sine integrals. That is integral minus a to a f of x dx is equal to 2 into integral 0 to a f of x dx if f of x is even, and 0 if f of x is odd. Okay, so here 1 into cos omega v is cos omega v. So cos omega v is an even function. So a of omega becomes 2 by pi integral 0 to 1 cos omega v dv. Then integrate this with respect to v dv. So sin omega v divided by omega, limit 0 to 1. Give the limit for v, then you will get the answer 2 sin omega divided by pi omega. Now coming to b of omega, it will become 0. Why? Because 1 by pi integral -1 to 1, 1 into sin omega v dv. Sin omega is odd function. So as we seen in the property written in slide number 10, integral minus a to a f of x dx is equal to 0 if f of x is odd. So since sin is an odd function, b of omega becomes 0. So therefore the final answer becomes f of x is equal to 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity sin omega cos omega x divided by omega d omega. Actually this is enough. Okay, but in some cases there will be questions asked to show that integral 0 to infinity sin omega cos omega x divided by omega d omega is equal to pi by 2 if 0 less than equal to x less than 1, pi by 4 if x equal to 1, 0 if x greater than 1. So in cases like these types, you can do in this way. That is, just take the integral part and put this pi by 2, bring this 2 by pi to f of x. That is, it will turn to its reciprocal, that is pi by 2 into f of x. Now f of x is given in the question 1 if modulus x less than 1. Now we are having only the 0 to 1 part here. So you can write 1 if 0 less than equal to x less than 1, and 1 by 2 if x equal to 1, and 0 if x greater than 1. How this 1 by 2 came? Because this function is discontinuing at x equals 1. So there you can find the average of left hand and right hand derivatives. That is, it is 1 by 2. So pi by 2 into 1 brings pi by 2 if 0 less than equal to x less than 1, and pi by 4 if x equals 1, and 0 if x greater than 1. And the particular case is, if x is equal to 0, you can put x equals 0 in the integral 0 to infinity sin omega cos omega x divided by omega d omega. So cos 0 is 1, So integral 0 to infinity sine omega divided by omega d omega is equal to pi by 2. Now here's a question for you. Find the Fourier integral representation of the function f of x is equal to 2 if mod is x less than 1 and 0 if mod is x greater than 1. So this might be easy for you. So just try to do this question. Thank you. Now let us come to the solved problems set 1 of Fourier integrals. In this PowerPoint presentation, you are going to see some solved problems using the formula of Fourier integrals, that is for integral representation, for cosine integrals and for sine integrals. Now let us see example 2. Find the Fourier integral representation of f of x, defined as f of x is equal to 0 for x greater than 0, 1 by 2 for x is equal to 0 and e raised to minus x for x greater than 0. Verify the representation at x is equal to 0. That is a particular case. Okay, so we have to find out the Fourier integral representation of the given function f of x, and also we have to verify the representation at x equals 0. That means at x equal to 0, are we getting the value 1 by 2? Okay, now let us come to the solution. We have the Fourier integral theorem. F of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity a of omega cos omega x plus b of omega sine omega x the whole into d omega, where a of omega is equal to 1 by pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of v cos omega v dv, and b of omega is equal to 1 by pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of v sine omega v dv. Okay, so any problems from the Fourier integral, what you want to do is take the given function in terms of f of v and substitute in 2 and 3 and find out the answers. Okay, so I have written here in the brackets, that is given f of x is equal to e raised to minus x and the limit of x varies from 0 to infinity. That you have to take as f of v is equal to e raised to minus v and v greater than 0. That means limit of v varies from 0 to infinity. Okay, so first of all equation 2 becomes a of omega is equal to 1 by pi integral 0 to infinity. Our general limit starts from minus infinity up to infinity. So here our limit is from 0 to infinity. So 1 by pi integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus v cos omega v dv. Okay, now we have learned the integration formula. Integral e raised to x cos bx dx is equal to e raised to x divided by a square plus b square into a cos bx plus b sin bx plus c for an indefinite integral. So here take a is equal to minus 1. Why? Because e raised to minus v it is given. The coefficient of v is minus 1. So as x coefficient is a, v's coefficient is minus 1. Therefore we have taken a is equal to minus 1 and b is equal to omega, that is cos omega v, which is the b part. Okay, so b is equal to omega and x should be taken as v. Okay, therefore a of omega is equal to 1 by pi then e raised to minus v divided by 1 plus omega square into minus cos omega v plus omega sine omega v. The whole limit is from 0 to infinity. Now a of omega, after giving the limit infinity and 0, the step is 1 by pi 0 minus 1 by 1 plus omega square into minus 1 plus 0, because e raised to minus infinity will be 0. The first part, the upper limit part will be 0. Then we are only having the lower limit part. Okay, so after giving 0 as the lower limit, cos 0 is 1. So minus cos omega v becomes minus 1 plus sine 0 is 0. So it is minus 1 plus 0. Okay, so the answer is 1 by pi 1 plus omega square. Okay, so we got the a of omega. Now let us see b of omega. Okay, so b of omega is equal to, write the formula, 1 by pi integral e raised to minus infinity to infinity f of v sine omega v dv. That is equal to 1 by pi. Our limit is from 0 to infinity. So f of v is equal to e raised to minus v sine omega v dv. Okay, now we have the integral e raised to x sine bx ds is equal to e raised to x by a square plus b square the whole into a sine bx minus b cos bx. So please by heart all these formulas. So b of omega becomes 1 by pi. Now as we wrote a of omega, here also our a is equal to minus 1 and our b is equal to omega. So a sin bx will become minus sin omega v and minus b cos bx will become minus omega cos omega v. Okay, then giving the limit, sine 0 becomes 0. So the so here also the upper limit is infinity. So the upper limit part is 0. Then we are having only the lower limit part. So minus 1 by 1 plus omega square into 0 minus omega, because sine 0 is 0 and cos 0 is 1. So that's why we got minus omega. So the answer is omega divided by pi into 1 plus omega square. Okay, so just see, when we got a of omega, the answer was 1 by pi into 1 plus omega square, and when we found out b of omega, the answer was omega divided by pi 1 plus omega square. 1 omega is there, is the difference in both the integrals. Okay, now the f of x becomes 1 by pi integral 0 to infinity cos omega x plus omega sine omega x divided by 1 plus omega square. So substitute our value of a of omega and b of omega in equation number 1. So we will get the f of x part. Okay. Now what was our second part of the question? Verify the representation at x equals 0. So now we are going to verify that. Okay, so putting x equals 0 in this f of x that we got, we will get f of 0 instead of x, you have to substitute 0. So f of 0 is equal to 1 by pi integral 0 to infinity 1 by 1 plus omega square d omega is equal to 1 by pi, and the integral 0 to infinity 1 by 1 plus omega square is tan inverse omega, and the limit 0 to infinity. So you will get the final answer as 1 by 2. So hence we have verified the representation at x equals 0. Now similar to example 2, let us see another question. Show that integral 0 to infinity cos omega x plus omega sine omega x divided by 1 plus omega square the whole into d omega is equal to 0 if x less than 0, pi by 2 if x equals 0, and pi into e raised to minus x if x greater than 0. So in example 2, we were asked to find out the Fourier integral representation. So that was a direct question. But here we have to show that this integral is equal to something, that is 0 if x less than 0, pi by 2 if x equals 0, and so and so. So in this type of question, what you have to do is, first of all, find the f of x, find the function. Okay. Then from the function, you can, using that function, you can find out the Fourier integral representation or Fourier cosine integral or Fourier sine integrals. Okay. So now I have taken the function as pi into e raised to minus x if x greater than 0 and 0 if x less than 0. I have removed the constant part. Okay, just take the function only. At first you just remove the constant part and take the varying part. Okay, so pi into e raised to minus x if x greater than 0 and 0 if x less than 0. You can also take f of x is equal to e raised to minus x if x greater than 0 and if x less than 0. Okay, so if you take like that, in the final answer, as we did in example 2, you will get a constant 1 by pi, that is f of x is equal to 1 by pi integral 0 to infinity cos omega x plus omega sin omega x divided by 1 plus omega square. Okay, then integral 0 to infinity cos omega x plus omega sin omega x divided by 1 plus omega square is equal to pi into f of x. Now the f of x, if you have taken e raised to minus x, pi into e raised to minus x becomes pi into e raised to minus x. So like that we will get the value. So now I am I have given the hint for you to take it as pi into e raised to minus x. So just go on doing. You will not get a 1 by pi as what we saw in example 3. Sorry, example 2. Okay, so here after getting the integral, just write integral 0 to infinity cos omega x plus omega sin omega x divided by 1 plus omega square d omega is equal to f of x, and f of x we are having the value, and for the discontinuing value, that is at x equals 0, you can find it separately. That also we have written in example 2. Just refer that. And finally, after getting all the three values, all the these two values are already here, and after checking at x equals 0, you can finally write f of x as integral f of x as 0 if x less than 0, pi by 2 if x equals 0, and pi into e raised to minus x if x greater than 0. Now coming to example 3, find the Fourier cosine integral of f of x is equal to e raised to minus kx, where x greater than 0 and k greater than 0. Here you have to find out the Fourier cosine integral. We know the formula is f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity a of omega cos omega x d omega, where a of omega is equal to 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity a of omega cos omega v dv. Now instead of f of v, you have to substitute e raised to minus kv, then apply the integral formula, take a as minus k and b as omega, then the last step comes like 2 by pi into e raised to minus kv divided by k square plus omega square into minus k cos omega v plus omega sin omega v, the whole limit from 0 to infinity. Now here a of omega, you will get the final answer as, after giving the limit, the final answer you will get 2 by pi into k by k square plus omega square. Now substitute this a omega in equation number 1. Then you will get f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity 2 by pi k into k divided by k square plus omega square, the whole into cos omega x d omega. Now take the constant part outside, that is 2k by pi. Integral 0 to infinity cos omega x divided by k square plus omega square d omega. Okay, now here we have obtained the Fourier cosine integral representation. Okay, now from this we have to collect our Laplace integral. Just see how we are going to get it. That is, from equation number A, we obtain integral 0 to infinity cos omega x divided by k square plus omega square d omega is equal to pi by 2k into f of x from equation A. This 2k by pi is multiplied with this f of x. So it becomes pi by 2k into f of x. Okay, just as the exercise question. Okay, which is equal to pi by 2k into f of x is e raised to minus kx. So here you can write the formula integral 0 to infinity cos omega x divided by k square plus omega square d omega is equal to pi by 2k into e raised to minus kx. This is one of our Laplace integral, which you will be seeing in the next slide. Okay, here I have given a similar question for you. Exercise set 1, question number 3. Okay, find the Fourier sine integral of f of x is equal to e raised to minus kx where x greater than 0 and k greater than 0. It is similar to what we have discussed earlier. That is in example 3. Okay. So there we have obtained equations A and B. Here I am asking you to obtain equations C and D. Okay, now let us see the note. Laplace integrals, that is integral 0 to infinity cos omega x d omega divided by k square plus omega square is equal to pi by 2k into e raised to minus kx. This is what we got in example 3. Now the second formula, that is integral 0 to infinity omega sine omega x divided by k square plus omega square d omega is equal to pi by 2 into e raised to minus kx. This you will get from this exercise set 1 question number 3. Okay, here you have to find out the Fourier sine integral. So from that you will get this formula. Okay, so these are the Laplace integrals and these equations we will formulas we will use in the future. Now coming to example 4. Find the Fourier sine and cosine integral of f of x is equal to sine x for x less than equal to x less than equal to pi and 0 for x greater than pi. Okay, here we have to find out both the sine integrals and the cosine integral representations. Now beginning with for sine integral, we have f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity b of omega sine omega x d omega, where b of omega is equal to 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of v sine omega v dv. Now, giving the value of f of v as sine v, you will get the next step 2 by pi integral 0 to pi, which is our limit, sine v sine omega v dv. Now, these type of problems, you need to know the trigonometric equations. Like sine, if it is here we are getting sine v sine omega v. Like that you may get sine a cos b, cos a sine b, cos a cos b, like that. So these type of problems you need to know, you have to study the trigonometric equations. Okay, so here to sine a sine b, we know it is cos a minus b minus cos a plus b. So instead of a we are having v and instead of b we are having omega v. So we are going to substitute here. That is 1 by pi, the second step, 1 by pi integral 0 to infinity cos 1 minus omega the whole into v. V is taken common minus cos of 1 plus omega the whole into v dv. Now you can integrate this. That is 1 by pi sine, cos integral is sine, 1 minus omega v divided by 1 minus omega minus sine of 1 plus omega v divided by 1 plus omega, the whole limit from 0 to pi. Now the fourth step becomes, after applying the limit for v, you will get 1 minus omega into pi. So I am writing in this fourth step it as sine of pi minus omega pi divided by 1 minus omega minus sine of pi plus omega pi divided by 1 plus omega. So that I can go to the fifth step like 1 by pi into sine pi minus omega pi becomes sine omega pi. You can see here sine 180 minus theta is sine theta and sine 180 plus theta is minus sine theta. How come it comes? See, I have drawn the quadrants here. First quadrant, all the trigonometric functions are positive. In the second quadrant, the sine and cosec. Third, tan and cot. And fourth, cos and secant. So from this we are getting sine 180 minus theta is sine theta and sine 180 plus theta is minus sine theta. So similarly pi is 180. So sine pi minus omega pi becomes sine omega pi in the fifth step. Divide by 1 minus omega and minus sine pi plus omega pi is minus sine omega pi. Okay, divide by 1 plus omega. So Coming to the sixth step, it is 1 by pi. Now, taking the LCM, 1 plus omega into sine omega pi plus 1 minus omega into sine omega pi. Here in the fifth step, in the middle, you are having two negative signs. So, negative into negative will become positive. So, the final answer is 1 by pi into 2 sine omega pi divided by 1 minus omega square. That means in the sixth step, you can open the brackets. That is 1 plus omega is sine omega pi plus omega sine omega pi plus sine omega pi minus omega sine omega pi. So the negative opposite terms will get cancelled. So the final answer is 1 by pi 2 sine omega pi divided by 1 minus omega square. Now applying this in equation number 1, you will get integral 0 to infinity 1 by pi 2 sine omega pi divided by 1 minus omega square sine omega x d omega. Take the constant outside and write the final answer. Now, after finding the Fourier sine integral of the function sine b, let us do Fourier cosine integral of the function sine b. So, we are having the formula f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity a of omega cos omega x d omega, where a of omega is equal to 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of v cos omega v dv. Now, instead of f of v, substitute sine v. So, it is sine v cos omega v dv. That is, reading this 2 together with sine v cos v, we can read this as 2 sine a cos b, which is the formula sine a plus b plus sine a minus b. Here a is v and b is omega v. That is 1 by pi integral 0 to pi sine v plus omega v plus sine v minus omega v the whole into dv. Now we are going to integrate. So integral sine ax dx is minus cos ax by a plus c. So it becomes 1 by pi, then minus cos 1 plus omega the whole into v. V is taken common. So it is 1 plus omega the whole into v. Coefficient of v is 1 plus omega. So it comes as the denominator. So divided by 1 plus omega plus sine v minus omega v, integration is minus cos 1 minus omega the whole into v divided by 1 minus omega. Now coming to the fifth step, we are going to apply the limits. So 1 by pi into minus cos 1 plus omega into pi is pi plus omega pi divided by 1 plus omega minus cos pi minus omega pi divided by 1 minus omega minus the lower limit. Apply the lower limit. So in the fifth step, it becomes cos 0 is 1. So minus is there with the cos 1 plus omega into v. So it becomes minus 1 by 1 plus omega minus 1 divided by 1 minus omega. So in the coming to the sixth step, it is 1 by pi into cos omega pi. That is cos 180 plus theta is minus cos theta. That is in the third quadrant. And cos 180 minus theta is minus cos theta. That is in the second quadrant. Cos is positive only in the first and the fourth quadrant. So we get minus in other quadrants. So cos omega pi, that is minus cos omega pi. Here we are having a minus, so minus into minus becomes plus. So cos omega pi divided by 1 plus omega plus cos omega pi divided by 1 minus omega minus, now take the LCM of the lower limit. Okay, so you will get the final as 2 by 1 minus omega square, which is in the seventh step. Now after simplifying and all, you will get the final answer as 2 by pi into 1 plus cos omega pi divided by 1 minus omega square. Now after getting a of omega, you can give it in equation number 2. That is f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity 2 by pi 1 plus cos omega pi divided by 1 minus omega square into cos omega x d omega. Write the constant part outside the integral. Then the final answer is 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity 1 plus cos omega pi divided by 1 minus omega square cos omega x d omega. This is the final answer. Now, here are some questions for you. You can do it on the basis of the last 4 examples we studied. Okay, so the first question, that is exercise set 1, question number 4 is find the Fourier cosine and sine integral representation of the function f of x is equal to cos x if 0 less than x less than pi and 0 if x greater than pi. Next, find the Fourier cosine integral of f of x is equal to x square if 0 less than x less than 1 and 0 if x greater than 1. Then the sixth question, find the Fourier sine integral of f of x is equal to x if 0 less than x less than a and 0 if x greater than a. So here you have to see that the functions are x, x square and all. So in this case you may use integral uv dv, that is integration by parts. So we have already learned to do it in an easier way in the second module. So that is integral uv ux vx dx can be integrated as u into integral of v minus derivative of the first function, that is u into the second integral of v plus second derivative of u into third integral of v plus etc. So this formula you can use instead of integration by parts for the fifth and sixth questions. Thank you.